John Harbaugh was once again asked about the Ravens' underperforming secondary, what happened against Cincinnati, what is on the table for this defense going forward to try to fix this disaster going into Week 11 at this point. So I'm going to play you a couple clips in just a second, and we're going to discuss it. But before I get into that, welcome to Flock Talk, your home for all things Baltimore Ravens football. If you're a Ravens fan and you're new to this channel, all we do is talk about your favorite team, the Baltimore Ravens. Hit subscribe, like the video. We're on the road to 2,000 subscribers. We're trying to get there before the end of the season, so if you could help me get there, man, I would genuinely appreciate it. But enough of that. Let's talk about John Harbaugh's press conference. It feels like every single week he's been asked a form of the same questions about the secondary, and we're getting similar answers. So here's what he had to say about, I was asking about Cincinnati, Ja'Marr Chase in particular, absolutely just destroying this defense, making it look like men among boys out there. This is what John Harbaugh had to say about that.
After taking a look at the film, some impressions from the Cincinnati game, and most importantly, how was Ja'Marr Chase able to get open so frequently after looking at it?
Yeah, I mean, Ja'Marr Chase is pretty good, so that's one reason. If you're looking for the hows, I think he does a good job, and that's where it starts as a talented person, but way too much, way too many. And it really comes down to how we're playing. It comes down to us. We got to play our coverages better in those situations. Deep part of the field, especially the deep middle and the intermediate middle part of the field, are the areas that have been a problem for us. Just very inconsistent back there in that sense, and we're going to be attacking that. It's probably the one major thing. If I was going to put a priority thing on it, obviously, probably everybody would agree with that. That's the number one target that we have to get better at, is that aspect of our pass coverage. So, we worked at it through the weekend, and we'll continue to work at it, and everybody's determined to get better, and we have a growth mindset to get better at everything, but and with a high sense of urgency to get better at everything, but that one area has to get better.
Listen, we all know Ja'Marr Chase is a beast. I'm not taking anything away from him. The dude is a stud. But on the other hand, he has not done this to any other team in the NFL, and he's done it to you not once, but twice in this season. Well, he's acknowledging there's a problem. We all know there's a problem. And he hit the nail on the head. In the middle of the field is a disaster. I said something in one of my last videos that the linebackers have been poor in pass coverage. Roquan Smith has been, in my opinion, underperforming this season. Trenton Simpson hasn't popped off the screen as far as pass coverage is concerned. And then our safeties are an absolute disaster when you have Marcus Williams or Eddie Jackson back there. It doesn't matter. And I agree with many people that have commented on my videos and said Marcus Williams is a liability, and I completely agree with you. But when they took him out against Cleveland, Eddie Jackson had the same problem, and Jameis Winston still threw for over 300 some odd yards and 3 touchdowns. So Eddie Jackson isn't the answer either. It's a problem on this defense, and it did not get addressed before the trade deadline, which is not ideal. It's not that these guys can't play or they're incapable, but they're just not, I don't know, they're just not performing the way they need to. He was also asked about if there's any potential personnel changes or all that good stuff. And here is what John Harbaugh had to say about that.
Marlon also said that, something's got to change. You speaking broadly, obviously. When you look at it, do you anticipate, or will you look at any potential, personnel changes, moves, et cetera, including responsibilities and things like that?
Of course, you consider everything. So there's everything's on the table always. So I don't think that's any news story. It's definitely not headline worthy, because that's what you do. That's what I spent the weekend doing, and that's what our coaches spent the weekend doing, and that's what our players spent the weekend doing in the back end. So we'll look at every aspect of it, and pursue the best path that we can think of and that we see going forward with a great sense of urgency, like I said, and we'll be pointed toward the Pittsburgh game in terms of what they do and who they have doing it, and go out there and play good football.
Will you look at any personnel changes, including responsibilities? Hint, hint, wink, wink, Zach Orr. Look, I don't anticipate them making any moves with Zach Orr this season, okay? I think the defense could ride out exactly the way it's performing, and you're going to see him be the defensive coordinator through the season. Now, if it does continue, I don't think you'll see him back next year, but I don't see them firing him or demoting him or anything mid-season. They're getting into crunch time. You keep hearing John Harbaugh emphasize the importance of getting it, with a great sense of urgency to get things fixed. I mean, I've made it clear, obviously, I'm as hopeful as anybody. I want to see it get fixed. But what do you do at this point? You're week 11. I don't know what switch they're magically going to flip, and this defense is going to start playing like a great unit, or not even great, but like just an average unit. Just give me an average defense that's not getting absolutely toasted for over 300 yards a game, or 300 yards a game, sorry. Something that's not back of the league. Give me at least middle of the pack pass defense with, with their, to go along with their number one rushing defense. That would be a very good defense, all things considered. But when you're, of course, last in the league in pass defense, almost last in the league in points a game, it's not good enough. They know it. You know it. I know it. But, what are they going to do to fix it? He was asked about if there's a potential move to put Brandon Stevens at safety. He said, no. There's no Stevens at safety is not an option. He was also asked about Tre'Davious White being put in the rotation, and he said, quote, that's why we traded for him. So plan on seeing him, I'm assuming, this Sunday against Pittsburgh. And they do view him more as an outside corner, as that is what he's played through the majority of his career. So I don't know if that's going to be the magic switch that they flip. I don't know if he's going to take Brandon Stevens snaps, or what the deal is if Stevens is not going to be is not an option to move to safety. The fact of the matter is, Brandon Stevens, as much as you talk about how he plays tight coverage, he's given up a lot of plays, a lot of yards. The back end is a liability. I don't know what the right move is here, guys. I'm going to be honest. I'm not an expert. I would love to hear your suggestions. I've seen comments from fans saying they need to stop playing zone because that's their numbers are awful in the zone. And look, if you watch them play zone, it's not good. But I don't think they can just completely abandon zone coverage and just play straight man across the board every single play. I don't think that's a good idea. So I don't know. That's why they're paid the big bucks, is to figure out these problems. And you're in week 11, and we all know what's on the line. The Ravens offense is on a historic pace as far as like yards of play. I think if they keep on this pace, they're going to have the NFL record. It's like 7.1 yards of play, which is just utterly ridiculous how great that is. And I think that's been one of the most frustrating parts about this defense this season, is we know they have the talent. We saw a year ago almost this exact defense minus a few players be dominant, to be the best defense in the league. And then fast forward a season, and we see what is going on now, and everything that's at stake with, the potential championship on the line. And almost equally important here is this divisional game upcoming this Sunday. You're already down, I think, a game and a half technically to the Steelers. You don't really want to lose, especially both games, but this matchup Sunday, which is going to put you down an even bigger hole as you're trying to keep pace, not just in the division, but to hopefully the top of the AFC. I don't anticipate the Ravens getting the top seed in the AFC this year, but you never know. They're in the running for it. They're not that far behind, but they really need to. I think Sunday's a very pivotal game, so we'll have to see how they come out and perform. A team they haven't played the best against in recent years. So it's going to be a great game. The Steelers are playing really well this year. I'm excited for it. I want to know what you guys think. What are your opinions on what John Harbaugh had to say? Do you like what he said? Dislike? And what do the Ravens need to do to fix this defense? All right. I love hearing from you guys and seeing your guys' opinions and conversing with you guys down in the comments. If you made it this far in the video, make sure you like it. Helps it in the algorithm. Subscribe if you're new. All we do is talk about the Baltimore Ravens. It doesn't get any better than that. I appreciate you all tuning in, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Go Ravens.